Hello, welcome to another video on the channel Dante Starshine. Here with you today. It's a beautiful, lovely day and lots of beautiful transitions in the air. So today in this video I want to talk about the other lightworkers and guides that are sharing an alternative message to what I'm sharing. People who are getting on this Q Trump bandwagon and my experience with them. So this is kind of to shed light on the sorts of thinking that can lead us into these weird, heavy traps. Now, I'm going to speak about an individual that is a former friend of mine, and I'm not going to mention their name specifically or even their gender to be as ambiguous as possible. So they are somebody I met on a trip to a location a couple of years ago, and they came to one of my workshops and they loved it and they wanted to keep connecting and hanging out, so I was totally into it. And in our relationship there were many things we agreed upon, such as, the traditional shamanism being sort of not accepting of our experiences as starseeds. Then there were other things where we didn't agree, and one of them had to do with this idea of the moon being unreal. They believed that the moon was fake. They believed that the moon was a lie and it was an artificial satellite put up there to siphon energy from humans, and that we shouldn't look at the moon and we shouldn't follow the moon's cycles. So this was very interesting for me. Now, I didn't agree and we didn't fight about it at the time, though this really sheds light on the kind of thinking that goes into people who get sucked into things like QAnon. This person's a big QAnon supporter. They withdrew a bit of their support because they don't like the savior complex attitude that QAnon puts out there, but they still mostly back up this message. Thinking the moon isn't real. Well, we know that the moon was a part of magical traditions predating Christianity, going way back. And we see that, funnily enough, the moon is kind of perfectly the same size as the sun, enough that it will block the sun out, and regardless of whether or not it was created by alien forces that use it as an artificial whatever, the moon's pretty powerful. The moon affects everything. We see how these cycles affect us. Why do we date a history in something that's really universal, something that we can all feel? The power of the moon. And there's whole other trains of thought that the lunar consciousness goes against the solar consciousness by these other teachers. And I see that many of these teachers are also people that then back up these crazy wackadoo theories. Same as the reptiles coming here to control us. And I really don't like when people like myself in the channeling community are thrown in with people that I consider wackadoos. And that may be harsh to a lot of people in the spiritual community that are kind of ambivalent, like, oh, well, if people think that the moon isn't real and it's a satanic artifice, that's okay. And if people think that reptiles live among us, that's fine. I want to be really clear that, I'm about very practical spirituality, and I think that channeling extraterrestrial beings that are here to support us energetically is something very real and practical. For me, I feel these beings viscerally entering my energy field, making changes. When I was contacting them before I was doing channeling, it was all about receiving the download, the transmission, and allowing them to make changes that were tangible for me in my field and body. Practical, right? And the information that they bring through, it's practical. It serves a purpose. It's not something to just glorify and satisfy the person's ego, and it's not something to also bring people into this whimsical, fantastical storytelling about all this cosmic history. There's bits of that come through in my channeling, though it always serves a purpose. And the channels that I resonate with, even though they can be these amazing extraterrestrial beings with beautiful mythologies and stories, the information is practical. And it's love-based. Something that's love-based will inspire within you your ability to create change and to choose. So the idea that the moon is harvesting energy from you and siphoning energy from you, and that everybody is coaxed into this terrible new age lie of following the moon cycle. What that does is it puts you in a deterministic mindset, and it makes you feel like you don't have a choice as to how the moon impacts you. It's going to do something bad to you, so you must protect yourself from it. It's a fear-based view. What else does this do? It separates you from everybody else. In this case, you are a spiritually awake person in a community of other people who consider themselves spiritually awake. And all these other spiritually awake people think that, okay, we follow the moon cycle. On the new moon we do this, on the full moon we do that. We pay attention from the new moon to the full moon of how our energy increases, our emotions become stronger, our sensitivity increases. From the full moon to the new moon, we feel that coming down in our energy. We feel that coming to a still point, coming to a stasis, and we enjoy that cycle. So a person with this viewpoint, the moon is a satanic, artificial, evil extraterrestrial entity that sucks energy from us. They go on believing, I know the truth. I'm not going to follow that. All these other people, yeah, we're in the same community, but I am the awake one. I know what's going on. Here I am, not paying attention to the moon. Here I am, not paying attention. Moon's going to kill me. Those people, they're worshiping the moon. They're satanic. They don't get it, but I do. So I'm the good one. I really know what's going on, and I'm a humble servant. And they'll say that on the outside, but on the inside, they're in a narcissistic bubble where they're seeing things higher than everybody else. All of the other people who haven't got it yet are bad, satanic, moon lunatics. But I have the answer. And this is what goes on with people who get sucked into these wicked, weirdo conspiracy theories too, about, okay, everybody thinks Donald Trump is a bad guy because it's very clear you see narcissistic tendencies. He's verbally raped his daughter on live television. Okay, he's kind of messed up. Right? But then, oh no, I found the truth. He's not that bad. And of course, the conspiracy theory now taps into these sorts of things that people in the alternative spiritual community are very much into, like alt medicine. They play this game where now it seems as if this person is channeling into the alt medicine mindset, but that was not part of his story before. And this is just something that they put there so he could filter through this part of the undecided, those who have already chosen that Democrats and Republicans, they're both bad and evil. Now they are kind of being filtered into this fascist candidate just because of alt medicine. It's kind of weird. But anyway, the people that are getting brought into this are in this fear-based mindset. It's deterministic. It's always going to be this way. The moon's always going to harm you. These negative things going on, they're always going to harm you. It's narcissistic. I am the woke one. Other people are sleeping. I am trusting the plan. Those are the sheeple. And what else can we see about this? They're probably getting paid. Now, I had this conversation that I never thought of before with other people recently. with somebody recently, they were saying, I don't trust anyone in the lightwork field that has some 100,000 followers. It's like, really, why not? Well, if they have become that big, they're obviously toying with the negative, artificial things. And I started to think about this a little bit, and I noticed there's all of these channels that I wasn't aware of before, but they are having so many followers, and they are all of a sudden endorsing Donald Trump in this roundabout way. So a lot of these people I'm seeing as quite artificial, and even people that I've followed for a while in this COVID thing are now shifting their focus to a deterministic, fear-based way of viewing things. And even if there's no conspiracy that, like, I believe, I have a hunch on some level that those behind the QAnon psyop pay light workers with big followers to endorse. I think that. I don't have evidence for that. That's just a hunch. So I'm not going to go around saying, this is true, this is real, like the other people in that movement will do with their intuitive feelings. I'm directly identifying, this is an intuitive feeling, I might be wrong. Anyway, what is beyond that is the reality that people in the lightwork field use fear-based information to hook people, because fear is the way that we have been sold everything for so long. Fear, oh, you're having these symptoms, take this. Oh, you're going to miss out on life if you don't have this. That's what advertising tells us. You're going to miss out, you're going to be unsafe, you're going to miss the train if you don't have this. And so the people in Lightwork field will say, if you don't catch the ride right now, you're going to miss out, you're not going to ascend. There are forces out there that are trying to control you. If you don't pay attention to what I'm saying, you're going to miss the point. There are negative, evil reptiles coming to kill you. If you don't pay attention to this, you're going to miss the point. So you want to notice when there is a spiritual person in front of you that is saying something to you that robs you of your ability to feel freedom and robs you of the ability to realize, I have a choice. I have a choice as to how this affects me, and I have a choice as to whether or not I consent to this in my reality. And whenever they're telling you the story of some big bad thing outside of you, and not reminding you you're inherently powerful, and you choose, and you have the power to say no, they are kind of siphoning energy from you. It's kind of like a little energy parasite. They're feeding off the fear. The fear hooks you into them. Pay attention to that and watch out for it. And finally, just saying, I've kind of mocked the reptile conspiracy a couple times in this video. And reptilians, Anunnaki, draconians, it's all real. But what this really is it's inside of our genes. Throughout human history, these beings have interfered telepathically, and they've altered the human genome. They've also interfered at different points physically, and we are hybrid species in general. So not only do we have this reptile DNA, we have the Pleiadian, Sirian, Arcturian, and other strains of DNA beyond that, all within us. And the behaviors that we engage in, whether it is fear-based or love-based, will activate these dormant strands of DNA. When we start to awaken spiritually, the Pleiadian and Sirian and Lyran and Vegan DNA activates within us to allow for, over time, our connections to these other realms to come in. When we follow a fear-based path, like so many people do in the business world, then the reptilian and the draconian DNA becomes activated. So are the politicians reptiles? Well, they have more of that DNA activated than somebody in a love-based path does. But are there genuine reptile humans on the planet that are not humans and are disguised reptiles? I think that is insane. And I think David Icke is somebody who did that whole fear-based, I'm going to suck you in and siphon you, I'm going to sell you these lies, and knowing that people get addicted to the fear, and once they start believing in something fear-based, they need to continue to make themselves safe from it by staying aware and staying informed. And it's a very destructive cycle. David Icke, David Wilcock, Corey Good, all people who do this with crazy information. And I really do not like, as a channeler, being thrown in with those people. And I'm making it clear right now that these people and real genuine channelers are different sides of a spectrum of generally the same field of UFOlogy, telepathic work, spiritual, psychic work. These people are in the fear-based, money-hungry side, and here we are, authentic channels, showing everyone that they're inherently connected and can develop the same psychic gifts. You can be just as much in the know as anyone else out there. Don't let people sell you fear. Don't let people convince you that the moon is an evil object sucking energy from you. Don't fall for the narcissistic trap. I am the woke one, they're all asleep. We are all one, right? Isn't that the whole thing? We're all one. We all have the same power. I think I'm going to be late for an appointment that I have if I don't stop recording this video. I could keep talking. I'm losing the amount of time that I can actually set aside to record and do all this for you. But I love you a lot, and I really hope that you can see clearly the difference between fear-based manipulators and true, authentic, love-based healing practitioners. Don't let people lie to you. As Björk says, you should never trust poets. Watch that video. Search on YouTube now, Björk and her television. Oh my god. Real, genuine humor. Do not let them lie to you. Whether they're poets or scientists or whoever they are. Don't fall for this crazy psyop or any of these weird things. You're powerful. Your state of peace, love, and well-being is more important than anything else. That's your gift to the world. Find what brings you that. Tune only into the information that makes you feel that. If something makes you feel fear in your body, either you're misinterpreting it or they're trying to hook you into a fear-based psychotic loop. They might not even know that they're in that. They might be possessed by their own fear-based thinking or demons or whoever. But don't fall for it. Anyway, I'm gonna stop now. I love you. Bye.